Good morning. It's been an honor here to be on stage with many of the leaders of both travel and other industries attending this event. And I would like to thank Andre and the PROS team for having me on stage here. I'll try to give you an update about where we are within the travel industry in general and Turkish Airlines in particular as it comes to adopting new technologies. For some of you at least, Turkish Airlines may not be a very familiar face because we are on some other part of the world. So let me start by giving an update on what we have been doing over the last few decades and where we are aiming. Turkish Airlines has been like a 10 million passenger, less than 100 aircraft about 20 years ago, where we started our very ambitious growth. The average growth rate within the airline industry is about 3 to 4%. Turkish Airlines have been doing like double digit for the last 20 years. Currently, we have about 450 aircraft and serving like 350 destinations around the world. That's 130 countries. We take pride in flying to most countries in the world and just started flying Australia. So that's 6 continents, catching up pros on that end. We carried 83 million passengers last year. Our ambition is to go up to 800 aircraft in 10 years. So that's going to be 170 million, 180 million passengers overall. So it's a lot of ambition, it's a lot of growth. And as you know, airlines, we are very resource consuming companies, tens of thousands of pilots and cabin crew, ground handling agents, and also passengers, passenger servicing. So there's a lot of need for good technology solutions to be in place to support that growth. Now, that technology is being served by our subsidiary called Turkish Technology, which I'm also the head of, and we try to provide technology solutions. But this is also to show that we are not only serving one of the largest airlines in the world, we are also serving a low-cost airline within the region, which is called AJet. So we have 2 airline customers in a way internally. Turkish Cargo is the 4th largest air cargo operator in the world as well. And our ambition is to also move that up higher in the rankings. We also have an MRO service provider, which takes care of your aircraft basically, which does maintenance, repair, and overhauls. Lots of technicians there, again, in the range of 10,000s. And then lots of day-to-day activities. So we are also trying to power those and use technologies in there. Now, having Istanbul as our hub helps a bit in this growth. Istanbul has been like the most internationally visited city last year, according to Euromonitor. And our ambition is to grow this even further. And as you can see, Antalya, which is our very similar to Orlando in the southern Mediterranean coast of Turkey, is also a very popular destination. So we have a lot of demand for our domestic markets or like local cities, and also a lot of demand for connecting traffic. So let's take a step back and see where AI fits in the tech world most recently. This is a Gartner survey from last year. And last year, 1/3 of the CIOs said that they had already deployed AI within their organizations. And the remaining, or some of the 15%, said that 2024 will be the year to deploy. Now, things are happening so fast. I'm pretty sure that these numbers have already moved up further higher up. And of course, it started with like code generation within the IT organizations, but now it's becoming more and more commonly used in document summarization and data exploration, and some of the conversational agents are also coming to the stage. Now, if you look at the AI within aviation industry, where do we see the potentials? You know, there are numerous areas for AI actually. It's not only revenue maximization, it's not only customer experience. We are also looking at airline operations as a huge opportunity for AI because, as I said, like there are, we currently have more than 20,000 crew, and that number will go with our growth over the next 10 years to about 45,000. So how do you optimize such a large resource base operating almost in a single hub, right? Because and they are connected to the aircraft, and they are connected to the ground handler and the passengers, so you need to optimize the entire thing all together. Huge opportunities. And since we are flying to all these 130 countries, we have contracts and tens of contracts in each station, different currencies, different tax regulations, different rules, different SLAs to follow. And many, many languages. So employee experience can get a real boost by deploying more AI solutions in the back office as well. So let me talk about revenue maximization a little. As I said in the previous talk, we've been a good PROS partner for the last 12, 13 years now. The PROS came into Turkish Airlines when Turkish Airlines was changing its business model from being a point-to-point carrier to becoming what we call an origin and destination carrier, which means we were aiming to become a network carrier, making Istanbul a hub. This solution, we worked with PROS at that time, allowed us to optimize the overall network revenues. Now, within the last 2 years, we have actually taken PROS solutions to the cloud and deployed the group sales solution. And I think it was in October, I guess, we put willingness to pay into production as well. Now, throughout this year and next year, we will be working on the dynamic pricing modules, and that will allow us to deploy even more features and make them available for our revenue management and sales organizations going forward. Now, the other interesting area, apart from pricing the availability, is revenue maximization around what we call dynamic pricing. Sorry, ancillary revenues. Ancillary revenues are what we sell on top of your ticket. Basically, it could be seat selections, it could be bags, it could be business upgrades. And currently, we have an internal team working on creating better and better offer modules for seats. So depending on the load factor, depending on days to flight, and hopefully with some personalization, we will be creating better offers for our customers and increase our revenues. Now, marketing or campaign management is another area where we see huge opportunities for AI. Machine learning allows us to create better personas, look for propensities such as travel frequency estimations, and churn probabilities. So we take all these models, put them into production, and then look for areas to contact our customers in a more personalized manner. That allows us to create better campaigns for our customers, both reducing the number of, let's say, too many emails problems or too many communications problems, but also creating better click-throughs and sales opportunities for us. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about airline operations, because this is, as I said, a huge area of opportunity where we see benefits of AI and machine learning. In this picture, you see one of our aircraft going through its turnaround phase. The aircraft approaches the gate. Cargo is offloaded. Passengers leave the aircraft. It gets refueled, cleaned, and a new crew comes in. Passengers get boarded, and then it's pushed back and then sent to its next destination. Typically, on a narrow-body aircraft, we need to coordinate 75 people, different roles, to turn this aircraft around. And that takes about, depending on the constraints, that takes around 45 minutes, 60 minutes. In a wide-body aircraft, we need to coordinate about 9,500 people. So knowing exactly what happens at each and every minute is very crucial for the overall performance, because on-time performance, and especially when you're operating in a hub with connecting passengers, is very important. In Istanbul Airport, we plan our schedules as waves, so a number of flights arrive within the same 2 hours period. All the passengers move to their connecting flights, and the next wave of flights leave within the same 2 to 3 hours windows. And it's very fragile. So it's very important that everything happens on time. So we try to use these tools to collect as much as data we can, optimize, look for exceptions within the day of operation, so we can help the operational people, operational folks much faster, and then still deliver on the on-time performance promise. We use all that data to do ground time prediction, block time prediction, and overall on-time performance prediction. Now, one other area where we see a lot of value with machine learning is tail assignment. Even though we have a large fleet, each aircraft is different. They were purchased on a different date. They have different engines. Their engines' ages might be different. They might have different maintenance windows. So based on the destination, deploying one aircraft instead of another one may create fuel efficiencies. So that's cost, that's sustainability. So the more we can do optimizations around those areas, the more value we can create for our airline and also for our customers. Now, as I said before, we see a lot of value in using Gen AI opportunities in customer experience. I mean, we've been playing with chatbots and trying to deploy them and make them, really travel companions for some time now, for some period now. But the new releases coming out of Silicon Valley, the new announcements coming out of Silicon Valley over the last couple of days, I have to say, makes me believe that eventually or finally we will be able to create better customer experiences. Of course, you know all about LLMs now. They have been the most popular, probably, acronym for the last couple of months. But not everything is in the model. With what we call RAG, this retrieval augmented generation, the models can then reach out to active data sources and retrieve data, augment their answers and then provide solutions. So that's interesting. Why? I mean, yesterday, I asked ChatGPT how many flights or how many destinations Turkish Airlines fly to in the United States. And of course, that's not in the model it was trained with. So what it did was that it reached out to Bing search and then Wikipedia, and then told me that we are currently flying to 13 destinations in the States. Of course, what it didn't know that in 2 weeks' time, we will start flying to Denver, so that will be 14. But, you know, these things will evolve over time, right? Because that's from a different data source. Now, what we can do with this technology then is, like, when we try to create a customer experience, of course, the conversational models can understand the language, speak all possible world languages, actually, when talking to the customer, but then reach out to our backend systems and retrieve data, retrieve your PNR, retrieve your e-tickets, retrieve your hotel details, etc. And then you can start to practically play on them, change your itinerary, add a wheelchair, change your return date, etc., etc. So that's where I think there is still a ton of opportunity, and we hope to be able to capitalize on that as soon as possible. Employee experience, as I briefly touched, is very interesting. We have a ton of standards within airlines, ton of procedures. So every time you join an airline company, you need to learn all the procedures, all the standards, especially on the operational side, because everything is under scrutiny by authorities. So Gen AI and conversational interfaces can be very helpful on that. We are using what we call an online knowledge library for our agents also today. So when you make a call to our call center, if the call center agent doesn't have the answer for you, the agent can then search within our online knowledge library, which is integrated with one of the LLMs, to find the right question, the right answer to your question, and then get back to you. And then there are other use cases around code assistance and other document retrieval scenarios. Now, this is an interesting time, and I would like to talk a little bit about what IATA has been doing, because I also have a role there. We are trying to transform the entire industry. Now, airlines have been at the forefront of technology at their time. You know, in early 60s, 70s, they were very connected. They were global because you had to fly from one end of the world to the other. But their technology adoption has been very fast in their time, in those early years. Talking about revenue maximization, price optimization, you know, you probably all know that it was started here in the States in the early 80s. American Airlines started with yield management. There was the concept of hosting before the cloud came out, because airlines were getting their services from a number of what we call passenger services providers or GDS providers. So it's always been this global interconnectedness that allowed airlines to move forward. But it also created something that once you build all these infrastructures, it becomes very hard to move forward, right? The standards IATA published over the last couple of decades, they are mostly for the old business model, which is all about PNRs, SSRs, EMDs, e-tickets, etc. But what we need today is like a retailing experience. As you know, someone goes onto Amazon.com and tries to book tries to buy a book. It's not the same process. You know, you don't add it to your checkout. You can't use wallets, etc., that much. So the idea with IATA's modern airline retailing is to basically change the standards of the airline industry by 2030, which is a long time because all the airlines have to make that move, and become more customer focused. That will allow the airlines to provide better services and better offers. That's why we call this the offer and order platform, because from that point on, the airlines will not be selling you tickets anymore. They will be selling or fulfilling your orders. That will be the new terminology. So there is a long roadmap, but there will be a lot of investment going into this space. Boston Consulting estimates that sizable airlines will have to invest about $200 million and some to make this transition. But the upside for the airlines is huge. They're looking at an additional $1.7 per passenger, and that's a good number. That's how much money we make from passengers, actually. And this is where actually there's a good coincidence of AI coming into the picture, because this will be consuming a lot more data, a lot more personalization. The way we want to approach this in Turkish Airlines, again, we will be able to create tailored offers. So today, if you go to an airline booking site, you may get 3 or 4 offers, but they are like the same offers for everyone. Even if you log in with your own mileage, frequent flyer account, there is hardly any difference based on, they don't get customized or personalized based on why you're traveling, what your intent is, etc. So this will allow us to get to that stage, and we will be able to do better pricing, we believe. The disruption management is also a huge opportunity. When disruption is the norm in airlines, as you all know, like there's a weather event, there is some delay, there are, in Europe there are strikes, and in other geographies there are other things, other events happening, so disruption is the norm. So to create better customer service, we also need to be able to handle those. So overall, when you look at what we are doing today, we have about 24 models in production in Turkish Airlines and other subsidiaries. We have about 29, 30 projects running currently to be deployed over the next couple of months. And then we have a huge backlog of new ideas that we plan to triage and then prioritize and then put into production. They keep coming, and all the business units are very excited. We do more and more workshops with each and every one of them, and then they say, okay, I had this idea, and let's try to experiment with that. Now, why are we doing all this? Again, we're trying to create one of the most successful airlines in the world, and we have a huge growth coming, and we plan to bring more customers also to our beautiful Istanbul and other destinations in Turkey. So I have brought a short video to wrap those up, to kind of also invite all of you here to these beautiful destinations to come and visit. Please, let's have a look.
We're shooting yacht and diving scenes at Caribbeans. We found some amazing venues in the Alps, and we have found real historical buildings in Northern Africa.
We can shoot the whole thing in Turkey. Hi. Hi.
You see, Turkey has it all.
Thank you. I'm leaving you with the thank you word in Turkish. If you ever come over there, this will be one of the first ones you will probably need. Thank you, Andre and Prostin.